So today I'm bringing you a different type of guide. This is going to be a Campanella normal speedrunning guide. Now I have builds on this channel for pretty much every breaker. There's only a couple that aren't out yet, but they'll be out soon. This is going to be pertaining to clearing Campanella normal in efficient ways possible, kind of showing the tricks that we use on the certain bosses on Campanella normal, as you'll also see these bosses inside extreme sometimes, and you can use the exact same strategies that we're going to see here on the extreme variants. I'm going to be doing this as Sandman, so that way if you're someone who wants to get into the multiplayer speedrunning scene, you can play the Sandman and basically fill the most important role for your group. That being said, let's start. Now, I'm not going to really cover what relics I'm buying or the skill upgrades I'm choosing, as I have guides on that channel for this build, and if you want to know that stuff, I recommend checking that out. This is just to save time and keep this condensed as possible. I'm mainly going to be talking about strategy here. So, with Archer Mammoth, there is no secret. When it's a solo boss like this, you pretty much just want to get in there and nuke it as fast as possible. So we're going to do exactly that. Now I would do this as someone as jungler, but jungler doesn't really have tips and tricks with speedrunning. He has just damage, so he gets through speedrunning by just obliterating things. Coming into Volcanus, same thing. It's just a single boss. There's no real trick here. You just get in and nuke it as fast as possible. The real tricks you're going to see are on the duo boss planets and the mega boss planets, where they have 4 health bars. So let's get in and we'll just nuke as fast as possible. So you're probably noticing that I'm doing some kind of animation cancelling here with the Crasher to try and squeeze out as much damage as possible. It's a good trick to get in the habit of. So if you notice with the Crasher, in between each shot there's a big delay. What you could do is, the moment your shot happens, do a skill or do a survival skill, and you'll cancel the delay to fire again instantly. So I'll do that here with a dash. So I'll shoot, dash, shoot, dash, shoot. But you can do the same with skills. If you notice, I'm at 10 out of 10 ammo, but if I now go shoot, nade, shoot, shield, shoot, sand snipe, shoot, it's like I just used 4 ammo in the time where I usually would use 1, and it just helps you get a little bit more damage out and a little bit more burst in those windows. So like I said, now that we're coming up to a mega boss planet, there's more room here for you to do some tricks, do some things that save time, and really execute what we like to call skipping phases. To give an idea of why skipping phases is important, to be able to completely skip a phase and nuke down the health bar of a boss will save you, in some cases, 10s to 20 or seconds of time, to, in some very, very niche cases, almost a minute of time. On Armor has 2 main attacks to begin with. He has the forward roll, or he has the tail swipe. Preferably we'll have the forward roll. The recovery time from the forward roll is slightly longer than the tail swipe. This just gives more room for you to be able to catch after the golden frame has ended. And what the golden frame is when you remove a health bar off of a boss like Armor or Arctic Gear or Protean in this run, any boss that has 4 health bars basically, they will turn gold, and then try to transition into the next phase, which is where they're going to start doing new attacks. If they successfully get into this next phase, what will happen is they'll turn immune to damage whilst they're doing their first attack of that phase. This is bad. This is just going to slow your run down, and honestly, it's much safer as well than just normal gameplay if you can execute this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, get really close to Armor, and let him start his first attack animation, and the earliest point possible that we can recognize that he is going into an attack animation and not on a regular movement animation, we're going to try and catch him with our dashes Petrify, just because it's a quicker reaction time. So we're going to do that, running in and dash. Unfortunately, we got tail swipe and not forward roll, but we can work with this, and it's going to drop. So we're going to try and catch. We didn't get the catch, so we're just going to wait. That's okay. And we're going to dodge. And then we're going to try and skip a phase by catching now. And then we're going to try and catch. You'll see he'll turn gold here. We're going to catch as soon as that gold ends. 3, 2, 1. Bang. By doing this, we're now going to skip his 3rd health bar. So he'll go immediately into doing another set of spines on the floor. signaling the fact that he's now in his final phase. Now, you can do this on any boss that has 4 health bars, including Sandshark, but those windows on those bosses are very different depending on the boss. Each boss has its own tell, each boss has its own attack animations, and some bosses, like Sandshark, where they're unreliable to when they're going to do certain things, are just avoid bosses. That's why we don't run them in Extreme when we get the opportunity. Now, coming into Planet 4, now that we're starting to get bosses that double up, so we're having two polychoppers here, what we're going to do is try and position in a way so that way they end up stacking together to give us the most amount of cleave possible. Now, the way we do this with polychoppers is the one on the right, which is the lowest one in the room and the closest one to us in the room. He remains stationary at the start of the fight. He'll start yelling towards you, and the one on the left instead will yell and immediately charge towards you. This is good to know, because this means if you position below the one that's on the right, the one on the left is just going to charge and stack on top of the one that's on the right, allowing us to get big cleave and nuke them down as fast as possible. So we're going to do that here. Going to run in, position below this one. The one on the left is going to yell, cleave in, and we're going to dash to try and avoid the scream. I messed that up. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Finish off the boss, and we'll move on. If we manage to get the triple sand snipe, we would have actually killed them before he got a chance to do the yell, but that's okay. This isn't an optimal run. This is just an educational run. We'll take charge module just for some cooldown reduction. Now, coming into Arctic Gear, this is probably the most important boss to get practice on, as getting Arctic Gear wrong will cost you the most time in your run, including a Protean in this case. So what we're going to do here is there is very important tells on Arctic Gear. When you first enter the room and run towards Arctic Gear will already be in an animation for spawning in. It's good to note this because you don't want to get this mistaken with an attack animation, because if you CC this animation and then push the health bar, you're going to mess up and it's going to immediately go into its next phase's attack. What you want to do is wait for it to finish that animation, and then you'll notice the wheels twitch slightly, and it's when you notice the little twitch to say that it's going into its attack animation is when you want to catch it, and I'll try to show that here. Now, Arctic Gear has 2 main attacks. It has what I call front punches, where it'll line the 3 wheels up next to each other and try and punch at you, and then it has the spin attack, where it'll lay them down and try and spin around. We prefer the spin attack. So it's spawning, twitch, and hopefully now we get the ones where it lay it down. Yep, we got the good one. So now what we're going to do is wait for the gold to end, dash, nuke, get underneath it, wait for the gold to end, nuke. And you're noticing, because of how we've executed this fight, we've just skipped every single phase on Arctic Gear. And that saves you literally 30 seconds in a run. So this is something good to practice and get down. The next boss planet is going to be the cats, and the cats, there's not too much of a secret here in killing them. There's more just a positional thing, much like the polychoppers. What you're going to do is you're going to position in the middle of the room, let the cats come towards you, then you're going to dash and petrify one of them, and then position behind it so the second one stacks on top of it, and then you'll try and petrify them both. This just allows it so they're as close together as possible and let you get big cleave and big damage out. There we go, we got the big damage upgrade. So you'll see, I'm going to run to the middle of the room, squeeze in between these 2 rocks basically, dash the one on the left, the one on the right is coming over, sand snipe, cleave them both, and then we'll just finish off the one that's on the right. See, there's no real secret to these ones, it's just more of a get them close together without getting knocked over, crowd control one, and then nuke them both. A Protean, there is 2 ways you can execute Protean. There's the what we call the balls to the wall way, where pretty much you just run in and dash him as soon as you can. This way it's kind of, you're basically gambling if he's going to try and attack you the moment that you get next to him, because if he does try to attack you the moment you get next to him, then you're going to catch that animation instantly if you do this. That's really risky, and something you only want to do once you're more experienced, we're going to show the safe method here, which is you let him do the first attack, and then as he's reeling to do the second attack, catch him then. This is a lot more consistent way of doing it. Sure, you lose like a couple seconds doing this in comparison to if you went for the balls to the wall way, but this is the more consistent way and will save you time by not messing it up. There's 2 attacks Protean will do at the start. He can either jab towards you with his face. This is the attack that we hope he doesn't do, as this is a very fast attack, and the recovery time from this attack is very fast as well. And then there's a second attack where he'll leap and try and stomp you. The recovery period from this attack is very long, so we hope that he does this one instead. So we're going to come in. I'm going to run next to him. He's going to start his attack, spin him around. He did the leap, and then we're going to wait. Catch him now. Duke. Now, because you see he's still in the attack, we're going to try and catch. Bam. Now, this is huge to be able to get this one down, because if Protean ever goes into the fire phase, the fire phase has a bug where he'll keep his super armor throughout the entire fight. So now we're going to catch him here. Duke. And then what we want to do is dodge the attack, but meet him at the end of it. Like this. Petrify again. And this is the perfect way to kill Protean, because now you just deal with none of the phases of Protean, and he dies. You pretty much just make Protean your little bitch when you do it this way. This is the one that you want to really practice, as Arctic Gear and Protean are the 2 staples of Extreme. Getting these ones down are very important and will give you the most consistency in your runs, as well as they're the ones that will give you the biggest time losses in your runs as well if you get them wrong. I will come out with a video at some point showcasing the extreme bosses like Kraken and Medusa and Hades Gear. Hades Gear is basically the exact same as Arctic Gear, so there's not much different there, but there is some attacks that can be a little bit more forgiven, and I will showcase them when we get to them. Hopefully this has been insightful and at least a little bit helpful in some way and eye-opening to some people. Speedrunning Anvil is really fun, and I hope more people get into it, especially in the Sandman role, as Sandman, in my opinion, is the highest skill cap character to really get perfect. Although his damage can seem kind of mongo and dumb, like you've just seen there with the Protean clip, it's the minute mechanics that separate him from the rest of the game. There's only very few breakers that can do what he does, but he does it the best. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any other things that you guys would like to see in the future, like informational wise, and I'll try to get that out for you.